Welcome back, everyone. Fan Festival 2014. I am Camate, and we have some very special guests today. We brought aboard the Order of the Blue Garter. These are two of the famous members. Do you want to give a quick introduction?
Yeah, sure. I'm a Carraway author. I'm the current leader of Order of the Blue Garter.
I'm Hadley, Brightfoot, and I help with recruiting and internal communication with RFC.
Very nice. And what jobs do you play?
I play a little bit of everything.
Everything?
Except healing.
Yeah.
Except healing.
Yeah. And I pretty much exclusively play a white mage for RFC.
All right.
Yeah.
And when you guys actually do your raids, are there specific jobs that you guys choose, or is it, you mix up as you need?
We play around with things a little bit. We're always happy to have flexible players, so we enjoy trying out different jobs, figuring out the best strats, best compositions. But we do have people who, focus on one job. You guys may know Peng, our famous monk.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, for example.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
So, FanFest, man, how's FanFest going?
So far, it's been a lot of fun. It's really neat to just be in a place where people are so passionate about something.
Yeah.
And you just have people, like, you guys can't see, but there's someone cosplaying as a white mage, like, right here in front of us. It's just, it's really fun to be around people. We're just so passionate about the game, the lore, all of it.
Yeah.
The energy level has been really high. Every 5 minutes you hear someone screaming because they just killed an Extreme Primal with a really harsh handicap, like Ifrit, I level 90, for example.
Yeah.
So it's been a great time. The energy is amazing.
Yeah.
What have you guys been up to? Have you been checking out all the panels, the in-game stuff?
Yesterday we spent most of our time in the Extreme Primal line.
Nice.
The lines are fairly long.
True.
I got to group up with Carraway, and yeah,
Awesome.
We did the Ifrit I level 90. There was 5 of us. We had 10 of us in our group, so we split up into 5s, and we got to play with 3 other FanFest attendees. And
Awesome.
yeah, doing this. We'll probably actually jump into Odin. We haven't had the chance to try that yet, but
You guys haven't done Odin yet?
Yes.
Not yet.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, how do you guys think? What do you think about it? Think you're gonna win first one-shot it, or have you guys been watching or checking out the fight?
We're not very good at
Studying?
one-shotting things.
More of a process.
Yeah.
We're excited because we hear it's a DPS check, and we love DPS checks.
Oh, those are fun, man. Those
Yeah.
are the greatest. So let's talk a bit more about like rating and stuff in Coil. So
Sure.
I think you guys were pretty quick to beat Twintania and stuff like that. What were your impressions of that fight, and what kind of the backstory about how you guys got together to take down this pretty hard boss?
That's definitely Carraway. All right.
Well, so Order of the Blue Garter has been around for a long time. I met 22, the old leader. I just happened to roll on Rabban Aster in 1.0.
Okay.
So it's been a long journey for us, and for 2.0 we were really excited about the new direction of the game. And when we saw the new mechanics, the new raids, we were really impressed with all the hard work that had been put in, the level of detail in the mechanics, and Twisters are now infamous, but we enjoyed trying to figure it out, piecing it together, despite the frustrations of, wiping over and over and over again. It was, at the end of the day, it was all worth it.
How about you?
Well, actually, I joined Blue Garter after they had actually killed Twintania.
Okay.
So I never actually played the first version of Final Fantasy XIV. I jumped in right when A Realm Reborn came out.
Gotcha.
And joined up with these guys, I think slightly before the Extreme Primals had come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So when you guys actually, strategize and stuff like that for these fights, what's exactly like what is the process when you get in there? How do you really, explore the mechanics for the first time? Because this is, if you guys are heading towards, world first and stuff like that, you're really the groups that are getting there to the front lines first and experiencing this battle. What's it like experiencing those mechanics, and kind of how do you, understand how to get past them?
See, this is the part where I wish everyone could see, because within our raid team, everyone is just so talented in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So you have people that are just very good at breaking down mechanics for a fight.
Okay.
And it's a very, just team-oriented mindset. No one's trying to, be the dude, so to speak.
Right.
And I guess for myself, and then you can go in, I guess maybe kind of go into your role here in a bit, but I primarily just focus on healing. For me, I just never get tired of playing white mage. I don't understand it. It just gets, it's just something I love to do.
That's great.
And
I feel the same way about tanking, man.
Yeah,
I just want to be there tanking everything.
Absolutely. And
Even though, I enjoy playing other stuff as well, but
Yeah.
tanking is where my heart is.
Absolutely.
It's cool.
And so I think that was one of the strengths, is like you're trying to be efficient with the time. So you literally may just have like an attempt, and you need to like continuously for a pretty long period of time like improve your gameplay, be as efficient as you can. So for me, primarily, it's just working on like healing and maybe just like some secondary input. But I think Carraway has a very different perspective on.
It's all about collaboration, communication. We have a lot of really smart players, really talented players, and it's about keeping everyone with a relatively level head and just logically approaching it and seeing what the mechanics are, breaking it down. How do we do this one step at a time? And I would say probably one of the most important things we learned is to read the tooltips.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good tip. It's true. Some people ignore that, and there's some pretty good information in there. So, as an example, everybody, obviously, you mentioned Twisters before. Twisters was that thing that, everybody was kind of racking their brains on, like, how does this work? So what were your guys' theories about, you guys kind of quickly passed that somehow. But what was the process for that? Like, how did you guys really think, like, okay, this is how we got past Twisters and kind of figured out that formula for it?
I think, like with any logical problem, we studied the footage. We had a lot of trial and error. We had a lot of people providing input and trying different things. So we had 8 different people who were really smart, really talented, trying different things all at once until something magically worked.
Right.
And then it was, oh, what did you do? What were you doing? And we would go back and look at the footage and try to replicate that until we started getting kind of an idea of how it worked, and kept on trying over and over again. And it actually, by that point in time, we weren't putting in that much time, but everything had to click at once. So that was the really important part of that fight for us.
Was it pretty easy to get up to that Twisters phase by that time? Were you just kind of blowing through that stuff?
By that point in time, we would joke around and talk about, quoting song lyrics back and forth, and for the first 10 minutes of the fight, and then wipe in 15 seconds.
Do you guys have any similar problems with the turn 4 for the second coil of Bahamut? Anything that was really difficult for you guys, or that you got stuck on more than other aspects?
I think just to kind of add to what Carraway said, from being in this group, there never came a point where we felt like we ran out of ideas, and I feel like that's a big part of the group's success.
That's cool.
There's never a sense of like desperation or just like we're not sure what to do. Everyone is just pitching in, and the goal, the mindset, the attitude is, okay, this didn't work, let's just move on to the next thing. It's very, in a way, mechanical and business-like, but it also just creates more of a positive atmosphere to
That's cool.
The grade in. But as far as turn 9 goes, or second coil turn 4.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Everybody calls it turn 9.
Sorry about that.
I don't think there was ever a particular place where we got stuck.
It wasn't really stuck. It was pretty consistent progress. I don't think anything was as much a mystery as Twisters seemed to be at first.
Right.
So it was more of a logical process, step-by-step execution and those kinds of things. And all the credit in the world to all the other FCs who are really competitive, because it's been great to see the game actually grow from the ground up. So no matter what level of content people are doing, and then at the end game level, the second coil and with final coil coming up, it's actually growing. There's more competition, so that's been awesome to see.
So speaking about competition, there are all these other groups that are trying to head towards World First for, I'm sure for the final coil as well.
Yes.
So are you very secretive about your tactics and stuff like that? Do you guys collaborate and kind of just, take it from there and try to get to the top? Or what's the mindset for that?
Honestly, like once we start rating, there's not a whole lot of else that we're thinking about other than just being in there, with our team. And we honestly don't know a whole lot of what's going on, outside of that. So,
True.
yes, I guess in a sense, like tactics and stuff, we do try to, I guess, keep it within the group. The big part of that also is we don't want to spoil the fight for people.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
we want to be respectful of those who are doing what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Try to get through it pretty quick. And,
Yeah.
anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's not about like a veil of secrecy, but we stick to our own thing. We focus on doing our own thing.
Yeah.
As far as competition goes, for us, it's not about a spot on the leaderboards necessarily, but just seeing what we can accomplish with
Sure.
our group and doing the best we can.
Yeah.
And up to this point, it's worked really well. So
That's awesome. Cool. Have you guys, going back to kind of the Twister stuff again, but, being able to blow past all that stuff, were there any feelings like frustration during those times when maybe, people started to get less positive or negative feelings, and is there any way that you overcame that, or?
yeah, I mean, with anything, if you're doing it for 6 hours or
Yeah.
straight in a session, whether it's work or playing a video game, nerves get frayed, frustrations,
Sure.
tensions get high. Try to tell everyone to just take a deep breath, relax, and remember that you're playing in a team. You're playing with a bunch of other human beings.
Yeah.
Go get some coffee, take a shower, walk outside, get some fresh air. That's a big thing, getting fresh air, like, living a normal life and then sitting down and playing and focusing. And, we try to keep things light. We try to keep, good, joking atmosphere around, even when we're raiding.
That's cool. Yeah, the positivity, I'm sure, definitely helps, move past that stuff.
Yeah.
I know for my group, me and Matt, we have a lot of everything super smooth in turn 9, past the golems and all that stuff, and then we get to the dive bombs or the elemental dragon stuff, and then we just kind of collapse. But so our group kind of goes through that frustration, like, oh, we're so good at this beginning part, why can't we just hold together? So
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but like half of our raid group is actually outside of the U.S. So we have players from Germany, like Australia, Japan, the U.K. So I feel like the international player pool we have leads to a different culture within our FC. So I feel like that is like a huge part of who we are, and why a big reason why maybe the atmosphere does stay as positive as it does throughout the progression process. Yeah.
So how many members do you guys actually have in your free company?
It's ranged. For 2.0, we were really excited. So we recruited, thinking about, Crystal Tower and 24-man content. And over time, people move on with their lives, and people come and go. So it's been great to, meet a lot of new, great, talented players who are, great personalities and are a really good fit for us. And then sometimes it's sad to see people go, but that's the nature of the game.
Yep.
So
that's cool. So I mean, how many? Do you have like multiple groups within your FC that take on these raids and stuff?
Yeah, I think right now we have about 2 groups with the players, and then at times we've had 3 groups, but not really any larger than that.
Is there any kind of like competition between those groups? Like
there's a little bit of
racing?
friendly competition. Yeah, invariably.
Do you guys share or like?
Absolutely, yeah. It's always about we're all one team. We're all contributing. So we had 2 groups pushing second coil, and it was a collaborative effort. So sometimes one group would figure something out about one mechanic that would make runs easier or get us closer to a kill. And for turn 8, second coil turn 3, we knocked out 2 groups right after each other because we used the same strat we shared. We used FC resources for our players to get them, crafted gear and all
awesome.
that. So
that's great. So do people collaborate pretty nicely then when it comes to like making food or other things that are really gonna make
everyone's always happy to help each other, especially because it's achievement credit too.
That's cool.
We've had actually people just dedicate themselves like to craft, and there is, I mean, to do what we do, you do have to have a certain sense of drive in you and determination. And so, there's a little bit of, I guess, friendly competition. But like myself, for example, I've taken a little bit of a break from the game, so I haven't been going as hard as they've been going. And I can honestly say, like, I mean, if they're downing content, I would nothing would make me happier for them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel like that is at the core of every one of our members. So it's really hard to find people who are driven but also kind of have the team, you know.
Yeah,
first,
definitely.
for
That
sure.
that bond is
Yeah.
that unity is really great, and I guess that does help, you know, get through the content and clear. Is that positivity again? It's
Yeah.
really cool. Great. So, what about Savage? Have you guys been tackling Savage at all?
Yeah, so we've been going pretty light at it, you know, maybe 3 days a week or so, but we just got our last Savage kill.
Okay.
So it's been great. The mechanics are really unforgiving in certain parts. Turn 9 was a lot of fun, I think. Turn 7 will, you know, for those of you who haven't done it yet, you know, all those nightmares about Turn 7
Oh boy.
Please
are
look forward to it.
magnified.
Oh boy.
You know, quite a bit in Savage Turn 7. But I think more people will probably get into it after, you know, after they do Final Coil and they have, you know, a higher level of gear. They'll be able to go back and check out Savage and enjoy the different tuning and the new mechanics and seeing some things like, hopefully this won't spoil it too much, but seeing 2 homing missile tethers in
Oh
Turn
boy.
8,
That
Savage,
is a nightmare.
Savage Turn 3 is pretty hilarious the first time it happens.
So, have you finished them all yet? Or are you
Yes,
still?
yes, we have.
Awesome. Which one do you think? Are you saying that Turn 7 is the hardest one for you?
I would say
guys,
that
or-
Turn 7 is going to be the hardest. I mean, just the hardest overall, and I think Turn 9 was the most fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know Turn 7 for us was an interesting. It's always an interesting experience, and it's not even Savage.
Yeah.
So hear a lot of like, you know, all of a sudden you see people petrified, and it's kind of they do the Urkel. And, did I do that?
Every week, Turn 7 is a new experience for everyone.
Yeah, it's very true. So, on average, I mean, how many hours a week do you guys spend, you know, actually trying to conquer this new content when it comes out?
Right when it comes out, you know, we see if people can take a couple days off from work or school, but then, you know, we realize that people have real lives, jobs,
Sure.
you know, real life commitments, and we want people to stay sane.
Yeah.
So we really don't go as hardcore as people might expect.
Yeah.
Maybe the first few days we'll play a lot,
Right.
you know, 8, 10, 12 hours for the first few days, and then it goes down to, you know, 6, 4 hours, and you know, we'll take breaks. I'll let people go out and get food and,
Right.
and all that stuff. Maintain their real life.
Let them go. You guys are free to go eat.
Yeah.
You go eat. Come back.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
very different from like World of Warcraft. Like when you were raiding there, it was quite a few hours. You're putting with very little break.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the first few days, we'll probably just go until people say, I think I've had enough for now. But we'll break
Burned
for
out.
a minimum of 8 hours,
Okay.
so people can sleep and eat
Yeah,
and
that's-
take care of things.
That's good.
But when Second Coil first came out, when we got towards the end of probably into Turn 9 progression, like I had gone back to work, so I was working and doing, you know, the raiding thing.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
So yeah, we don't just disappear off the face of the planet for months at a time. We do have somewhat of a life and, you know, responsibilities.
I do myself. I want to dedicate time just to crank out, you know, Turn 9, but you know, got to do this stuff here, right, for everybody.
Yeah.
So we're trying to just take it maybe 2 days a week for my group.
Yeah.
A little bit of time to get through 7, 8, or 6, 7, 8, and then we have 9 for a whole
The
other
learning time,
dedicated
yeah.
day. But you know, my wife, you know, it's all about that time and balance stuff. So
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
funny. Every
Yeah.
time I come home, she's like, "Is that the nerd night?" That was but you know, we gotta beat this stuff. But it's funny because then you see her, she's on the side and start hearing me start scream out stuff about Turn 7, like check voice, check debuffs, you know, stuff like that. And then she's like, "What does that mean?" And then she starts saying it too, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's good." And
You
it's-
just have her do your raid calls for you.
Oh, wait,
There
I
you go.
should.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because when she starts hearing me scream, it's like, "Oh my god, like, what? It's someone. What are you doing? Like, everyone's dead." And she's like, "Oh, someone didn't check voice." I was like, "Yeah." She knows nothing about the game, but she knows that you gotta check your voice.
That's awesome.
But so yeah, any other impressions about Fan Festival? We guys really excited about so yeah, the whole keynote and stuff like that.
It's been really exciting, yeah. What have you thought, Hadley?
The announcement of the expansion was pretty huge. I think we're all really excited to see level cap being raised,
Yeah.
new areas to explore. I know even the incoming patch, like just being able to tackle on some new end game challenges. I know
For sure.
that we're all probably really excited about.
Yeah,
that.
new raids, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. But oh yeah, so since we are having a new raid, you know, in 2.4 we will have the final coil, right? You guys have any speculation or what's going to happen? Have any idea?
No real speculation. We try not to have any kind of expectations because we don't want to get locked into a certain mindset.
That's cool.
We just try to approach it with an open mind and go at it, go hard, have fun with it, and try to stay sane.
What kind of mechanics are you looking forward to, or anything that you really want to, you know?
Twisters 2.0?
Oh boy. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to it.
So you guys have any tips for anybody at home, some of the hardcore raiders out there that, like me, who are trying to beat turn 9, or just in general for raid groups? Anything? Any parting words of wisdom?
One thing that I do personally is to record my own gameplay. That's a very simple and even a free thing that you can do, and it's surprising, especially in the midst of learning a fight, how much you're concentrating so hard on messing up or not messing up and doing your role well, that you may overlook a lot of things, but just going through your gameplay, seeing some things that you can shore up. I feel like that's personally helped me tremendously. So
maybe I should do that too. I'll have to do that. Record my stuff. Make sure that how people are on spot. Carraway, how about you?
We call it going back to the tape, studying the tape. Yeah. For me personally, my recommendation would be to remember that everyone else in your group is actually a human being.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you can't joke around with each other after wiping for 2 hours, then take a deep breath and try to brush it off, brush that dirt off your shoulders.
It's got to be it's got to be it's got to be fun. That's the whole
exactly.
We call it the grease. You got to degrease.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
we might start using that. We'll steal your strats.
Yeah, we call the really messy runs or the greasy runs. You just got to degrease yourself. Yeah. So do you have any shout outs for anybody? Maybe other BG members?
Shout out to everyone at BG who couldn't make it. We miss you. We love you. And hopefully we don't get flamed too hard on Reddit after this. We'll see.
Shout outs to, our FC, my girlfriend, and everyone that's watching. Thank you very much for supporting the community team, the game. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thanks again for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all. So, Order of the Blue Garter, great stuff. Looking forward to see what they do in Final Coil. And we got more stuff coming up in just a bit, so stay tuned.